looking to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Maricar Velasco, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines, Qatar has temporarily banned the entry of travelers from the Philippines and 13 other countries over coronavirus concerns. Facebook shuts down its London office and part of its Singapore base for deep cleaning after an employee in the Asian state was diagnosed with coronavirus. Bangkok's train service releases coronavirus safety dance video. The COVID-19 or coronavirus virus is spreading rapidly around the world. The number of daily new cases outside of China is much higher than that inside of China now, and China believes not a second should be squandered to save lives. The spread of COVID-19 is a global issue that requires concerted efforts of the international community. Beijing is keen to reposition the virus as a global outbreak and not just a China malaise as it sends testing kits and experts overseas and translates treatment manuals into foreign languages. Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said China has sent testing equipment to Iran, Pakistan, Japan, and some African countries. A few weeks ago, Chinese officials were putting in calls to try and shore up overseas support as countries impose travel bans. Now, outgoing calls are to offer technical advice, sharing China's experience through video conferences with the European Union and other nations. An industry ministry spokeswoman this week said China's production of hazmat suits now exceeds demand from Hubei province, where the virus first emerged in December, and encouraged companies to adapt to meet foreign demand. The Department of Health and Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases have intensified efforts to contain the spread of the coronavirus disease. As 4 new cases were confirmed Sunday, bringing the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 10. In a press release, Health Secretary Francisco T. Duque III said he calls on the public to continue to be vigilant and practice personal preventive measures, such as proper hand hygiene, social distancing, and cough etiquette. In the meantime, refrain from visiting public places and/or attending mass gatherings. DOH is exhausting all its efforts to contain the spread COVID-19. The DOH said while samples from all the new confirmed cases were tested on Saturday and all results were released Sunday, the department is currently investigating all the cases and gathering patients' information from respective hospitals. The DOH said it is also currently in coordination with concerned local government units and the Centers for Health Development for localized response and implementation of infection prevention and control measures. The 7th case is a 38-year-old Taiwanese male with a history of contact with a Taiwanese foreign national who visited the Philippines and tested positive for COVID-19 in Taiwan. The patient, the DOH said, has no history of travel outside of the country, and his symptoms started last March 3. He is currently admitted to a private hospital. The 8th case is a 32-year-old Filipino male with history of travel to Japan within the past 14 days. The DOH said the onset of symptoms began on March 5, and the patient is currently admitted to a private hospital. The 9th case, meanwhile, is an 86-year-old American male with pre-existing hypertension and history of travel to the USA and South Korea. His symptoms began on March 1, and the patient is currently admitted to a private hospital. The 10th case is a 57-year-old Filipino male with no history of travel outside of the country. While he was reported to have had contact with a confirmed COVID-19 case, the DOH is currently investigating details of his exposure. The patient is currently admitted in a private hospital. The DOH Epidemiology Bureau is gathering more information and validating available data on the reported cases. The DOH said it will release all pertinent information to the public once it is available. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council is beefing up its information campaign to prevent the spread of the coronavirus disease, as the country now has 10 confirmed cases. NDRRMC spokesperson Mark Chashian Timbal said on Monday the information campaign is aimed at educating the public on how to protect themselves from possible infection. Timbal said there is regular cascading and information exchange with all regional and DRRMCs and civil defense offices. 4 new cases of COVID-19 positive individuals were confirmed Sunday, bringing the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 10. The Department of Health and the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases have intensified efforts to contain the spread of the disease. As preventive measures, the DOH called on the public to practice proper hand hygiene, social distancing, and cough etiquette. Visiting a public place or attending mass gatherings are also discouraged. The Qatar government on Monday imposed a temporary entry ban on travelers from 14 countries, including the Philippines, as the 2019 coronavirus disease continues to spread worldwide. The Philippine Embassy in Doha advised Filipinos to take note of the said travel ban, which takes effect beginning March 9. All Doha-bound passengers who traveled to the following countries in the last 14 days are covered: Philippines, Bangladesh, China, Egypt, India, Iran, Iraq, South Korea, Lebanon, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Syria, and Thailand. In a statement dated March 8, the Qatari government said the step comes in line with its effort to take all necessary preventive measures to limit the spread of COVID-19. It said, quote, "This decision affects all individuals intending to enter from these countries, including visas upon arrival, those with a residence or work permit, and temporary visitors." 2 Filipinos in Lebanon tested positive for the coronavirus disease 2019, the Department of Foreign Affairs said on Monday. Reports said the 2 Filipinos are now under quarantine at a hospital in Beirut, Lebanon. The DFA, through the country's embassies and consulates abroad, is keeping track of all Filipino nationals in foreign countries in connection with the government and worldwide effort to contain the deadly COVID-19. The Philippine Consulate General in San Francisco continues to monitor the situation of Filipinos on board the MV Grand Princess cruise ship docked off the coast of California. The Philippine Embassy in Washington and the consulate have yet to confirm reports that 6 Filipino crew members were among those who tested positive for the disease. In a press briefing in Malacanang Monday, DFA Assistant Secretary Ed Meñez said there are 529 crew members and 9 passengers on board the ship who are Filipinos. The consulate has requested the United States government, through the State Department's Office of Foreign Missions in San Francisco, to distribute flyers for Filipinos on board the ship hit with COVID-19 to enable them to get in touch with the consulate. The Princess Cruises earlier confirmed that the results from the first phase of health screenings of 45 guests and crew on board the ship, 21 people contracted the disease, which includes 2 guests and 19 crews. The Grand Princess cruise ship is expected to proceed to the port of Oakland on Monday to begin disembarking guests who require acute medical treatment and hospitalization. These guests will be transported to medical facilities in California. Vietnam Plus reports that countries in Southeast Asia are taking drastic actions in response to COVID-19 outbreak, as they have confirmed more infected cases over the last few days. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen has ordered all schools in Siem Reap City to be shut down temporarily after the country confirmed the first Cambodian to be infected with SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, on March 7. Meanwhile, the Bank of Thailand has put more 500 THB banknotes into circular to raise the percentage of cash that's free of SARS-CoV-2 contamination. Sombun Chitpentom, Assistant Governor of the Central Bank's Banknote Management Group, said that the notes have never been in circulation before and are hygienic. As the number of customers visiting shopping malls has been declining due to the COVID-19, the M Quartier and Emporium malls in Bangkok have installed tunnels with sanitizer sprinklers to reduce the spread of the new coronavirus before customers enter the building. Thailand has recorded 50 COVID-19 cases, including 18 currently under treatment. Aside from one death, 31 other patients have been discharged from hospital. The two new cases announced on March 7 are Thai citizens returning from Italy, the epicenter of the outbreak in Europe. Vietnam's women footballers will play the second leg of their Olympics playoff against Australia behind closed doors over concerns of COVID-19, football authorities said Friday. The March 11 game will be held in the Kam Pha Stadium in northern Quang Ninh province. The Matildas are on verge of Tokyo Olympics after trashing Vietnam 5-0 in the first leg of their playoff at the home Friday.
Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net 25.
We are living during the most extraordinary time in human history.
All transport will go fully electric.
Es wird eine völlig neue Mobilität geben, meine Damen und Herren.
Rev, the new auto show on DW. Getting you into gear on cutting-edge developments.
Wasserstofferzeugung braucht Energie.
We focus on green technology.
Das Auto ist im Betrieb absolut emissionsfrei.
And also feature head-to-heads. And the latest launches.
Das Fahrgefühl war gut, er lässt sich sehr gut fahren, er liegt sehr gut auf der Straße.
And mobility stories from around the world.
Accurate and fair reporting. Not only from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi, but also abroad. Detailed and timely stories relevant to people all over the world. Catch all of these at Net 25, your reliable source of news, entertainment, and technology updates. Welcome back. Facebook said Friday it was shutting its London office and part of its Singapore base for deep cleaning after an employee in the Asian city-state was diagnosed with coronavirus. A staff member working at the U.S. technology giant's Marina One office in Singapore was on Friday diagnosed with COVID-19, a spokesman told AFP. The infected employee had also visited Facebook's London offices between February 24 and 26. The company said it was getting in touch with individuals who had direct contact with the person infected and had asked them to self-isolate and monitor for any potential symptoms. Facebook has already closed its Shanghai office until further notice, while employees in Italy and South Korea have been encouraged to work from home. In addition, staff in the San Francisco Bay Area have been strongly recommended to work from home starting from Friday. Coronavirus has infected more than 100,000 people across 91 countries globally, according to an AFP tally, while more than 3,400 people have died. A total of 163 people have currently tested positive for the virus in Britain, and 2 people have died, health authorities said Friday. The ASEAN Committee on Consumer Protection developed a code of conduct that provides guidance for online businesses in ASEAN on how to act responsibly and fairly towards consumers. The development of the code is in line with the initiatives under the ASEAN Strategic Action Plan for Consumer Protection 2025 and the ASEAN E-commerce Work Program. It is also consistent with the ASEAN high-level principles on consumer protection, which calls for ASEAN member states to provide effective protection to consumers on e-commerce. The emergence of a number of highly successful locally based e-commerce platforms makes it convenient for consumers to access goods and services. However, it also results in consumers having greater exposure to fraud when engaging in online purchases. Consumers may also become overwhelmed with the amount of information available, which may lead them into making incorrect decisions. Thus, while consumer protection and relevant authorities set out to develop and strengthen policies for consumer protection in e-commerce, the code serves to promote voluntary commitments on responsible online business conduct. The code covers 15 core commitments that can easily be applied and adapted in different contexts, such as complying with laws and regulations, ensuring quality and safety of products and services, ensuring data privacy, and ensuring the safety of online payments. Businesses operating in the region are encouraged to comply with the code as a practical solution from navigating cross-sectoral legislations that may not be fully developed. Sacks of heroin and methamphetamine are laid out in endless rows in a remote Myanmar border zone during a rare raid in the heart of Southeast Asia's infamous Golden Triangle. The seizure in one of the world's biggest narcotics-producing regions put 3 major laboratories out of business this week and hauled in 43 million meth tablets. Record amounts of drugs continue to be churned out of the lawless forest areas by rebel groups and shadowy organized crime networks, making billions of dollars each year from the trade. Army operations around the Kutkai area of Myanmar's Shan state found the factories producing millions of yaba pills, cheap caffeine-cut meth tablets, as well as heroin and the more addictive crystal meth known as ice. In a Thai antidote to the grim warnings over the deadly new coronavirus, Bangkok's overground train service on Friday released a jaunty track named COVID-19, Dance Against the Virus, which has been viewed more than 100 times online. And that is latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco and I am one with 25.
Now in its 51st year, Eagle Broadcasting Corporation has held various child care and development programs.